The Spider King kicked this morning. This dark hole. There's gonna be a pump in there. Those beautiful water features and showing you how. We're here all welcome back to part 2 of this awesome pond build here in Whippany, New Jersey. It's Jack from Atlantis Water Gardens. In the first episode, if you haven't seen that, click right here and check it out. We did a whole under drain system beneath this pond. They've got major groundwater issues. We had to make sure that we handle that. That is in place and ready to go. Now we can start the fun stuff, which is actually building the pond and then getting to the waterfall. This is a big pond and it's got some challenges. On this whole right side, we're surrounded by patio and walkway. Nice flagstone patio, looks great up against the pond, but we can't bring our big excavator over here to set our rocks. That's where this fella comes in. That's our spider crane. It's a Unit 205. This thing is gonna get set up on this patio. We're gonna lay our plywood out. We can track it out here. It's got real low impact as far as weight, and we'll put some pads down where the outriggers go. We can then stage our boulders here and set this side of the pond. This pond's about 16 feet across. From end to end, it's gonna be 30 foot. This is a big sucker. Over there, you can see the guys have already gotten in our 1,300 gallon reservoir. Water will be going off that end of the pond like a negative edge, down a set of waterfalls into that reservoir, and then recirculating back up to the top where we'll have an 8x10 constructed wetland filter, which then has a whole nother set of waterfalls before it goes into the pond. We've been fighting some rain here in North Jersey the last couple days. Hopefully that's over for a little bit. We got some work to do. Let's get it moving. Spider King kicked this morning. It did exactly what we needed to do. We got this whole side of the pond rocked in with some monster boulders. Look at this sucker right here. It's 5 feet tall, top to bottom, right down there. Gonna get Anthony, once he's done eating lunch, to do some stacked slate work in here, and then we'll tie the patio right into it. That's gonna be just fabulous right there. We're gonna tie in some more slate work over on this side, creating a bog back here for some aquatic plants. That flagstone runs right alongside this, so as you're walking up through the yard, couple steps, walking right next to the pond, I want to see some bog plants right here, just kind of creeping over that wall, like a nice live edge that blurs the line between the pond and the actual hardscape. We've got a big old fish cave going in here right now, starting to frame that out on the right side with a boulder. We're going to find one to match on this side, and we might actually cut the top of the cave and sink a rock into it. But now we've got everything we need to get with this fella. Good job today. Oh yeah. Time to hit the showers. We're gonna get the spider crane out of here. We are gonna finish excavating this pond now that we can get our reach with our excavator. And we have one more leg of this under drain to put in over here. We're gonna make sure that we catch all that water that could be over in that area and tie it into the rest of our system, which is going into this dark hole. There's gonna be a pump in there. There will be a sump pump with a float that operates in there. Whenever it gets enough water in it, the float will raise up, kick on the pump all the water from beneath the pond as well as underneath the reservoir, making sure that it stays nice and dry and the hydrostatic pressure can't wreck all our nice work. Because nobody wants to do all this work to have it ruined by some water, right? So we're gonna make sure that that doesn't happen. That's why our under drain system is so extremely important here. This place is all clay, so clay acts like a big bathtub. It just holds the water. There's nowhere for it to perk down into the soil, and anything that's in its way, it will move, and that means a liner in a pond. But no worries here. We're all set with that. Let's finish digging out this rest of this excavation, get our liner pulled in, and keep on rocking. In typical AWG fashion, it's raining. But we still accomplished our goal today. The pond is completely excavated and lined. This side is going to be super cool. We're going to have, I've already got some rocks picked out. They're going to frame out the waterfalls coming into here. That's our big berm for our constructed wetland filter. It'll actually get a little bit larger once we actually dig the filter. There'll be waterfalls coming off of that, probably some sort of big pooling area wrapping up against the patio and then falling into the pond. This side of the pond has really taken some awesome shape today. Anthony got started on his signature stack work, and that is going to be so freaking cool. All up in there, and then we'll bring the patio out over it, build a light right into the wall. We'll kind of do some of the same stuff over on this side as well. We got water going into the reservoir. I want to get water in there just to keep some weight in it. What can happen is if you get torrential rains, like they're calling for like maybe tornadoes or something here, but if we got a really bad storm and water happened to get underneath this thing, even with the drains, we don't have our pump in yet, so that water's strong enough to push this reservoir up. We put some water in there, that should not happen. We're back at it after a rainy weekend. It's a good thing we tarped all our soil because there was about 6 or 8 inches of water in the whole pond. Right now, Drew and the guys are just finishing up, pumping everything out so we can get to work. The goal today is get this pond rocked in. Right now, Brendan's over there cutting up some rock pad. We're gonna use that as cushion in a lot of these areas. Wherever we put these big rocks, you'll see us put fabric back behind and underneath, sometimes even double layers underneath, depending on how big or how possibly sharp the bottom of the rock could be. So as we're going in these areas, we'll be laying fabric down, then setting our rocks, even do some backfilling with some gravel, like that right there, and make sure it's all structurally sound. It's always slower going in the morning after like a big rain event. A lot of cleanup has to happen before you can actually get the work going. We're close to making that happen. I'm ready to get some rocks in this thing. Let's get it rolling.
Rob and I are right now preparing this area. This is where the pond actually will go into the intake with that negative edge waterfall. Right now we're just excavating out our area. It's gonna be about 3 inches below the water level where that weir from that negative edge is gonna come into this intake. We're preparing this area, getting it nice and flat and level on grade because we're actually doing a seam over here. We're gonna seam our intake and pond liner together with that double-sided tape and the cover tape. That way we make sure that we don't lose any water in that seam and that it's watertight. We just have to build up the sides so that way we can place our rocks and contain a lot of this water inside of the pond versus it kind of going over the sides here and not just over that negative edge. We have a little bit of work left to do and then we're going to start on that seam.
So basically what we're doing is making a notch. We're going to cut a big flat area about 3 inches below our water level. This way when we finish it, when we actually have the rock work and then there's some gravel in there, there's still enough room for the water. And then on the sides, it kind of notches up and contains that water in that one channel where we want to have the waterfall coming off into our reservoir. Once they get that all graded out, they will lay down a big 2x12 board. That's going to give us a nice flat surface to then join those two liners together. And we'll show you what that looks like. All right, we've got a nicely completed seam joining our pond into our negative edge intake. We got a lot of rock work set inside the pond itself. We're actually able to frame out a waterfall on the opposite side. Right where Brennan's standing, we've got 2 gigantic rocks that are gonna be framing a nice big weir right in the middle. So we're gonna get a really awesome waterfall spilling in between these 2 boulders, probably do some stack slate work up in there. A lot of stack slate work going on in some of the crevices, just kind of tying it all into what we're already doing. Boley did this whole wall over here, built that light in on this side. Anthony's gonna get busy over here finishing that up so we get that nice clean patio interface. These rocks look just incredible. And behind all this stuff, we're leaving areas to do aquatic planting. So it's pretty simple, just gravel pockets. We can take the dirt right off of the roots of the aquatic plants, plant them right in there, and they do fantastic. We're at the point now where Boley, myself, and Kevin are gonna get busy on starting our negative edge waterfall coming into our 1,300 gallon reservoir. Look at all the vantage points in the house. We got this huge bank of windows. There's a big deck off the back here looking right out towards the pond. We want to see a beautiful set of cascades coming off that body of water, creating that like infinity edge, negative edge, whatever you want to call it. There's going to be water coming off the pond into this reservoir. We're going to get into this waterfall in the next episode. Come on back. We are here every week building beautiful water features and showing you how. We're here always building beautiful water features and showing you how we do them. Come on back. We're not done here. It's going to be awesome. See you on the next one.